And this is the reason right here that I really didn't even want to get certified as a life coach, and I didn't even want to be a life coach because there's so many coaches out there, and I never want to just follow a trend. I never want to be a part of no group. I never want to be following no fads. I always want to be authentic in what I do and why I'm doing it, right? So I want to become a coach because I'm like, first off, you got all of these coaches out of here out of nowhere. They don't have no education. They don't have no certifications or nothing. But here they go, jump online, starting a business. I'm a coach, book with me, blah, 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 blah. And then they following this algorithm. The algorithm. When you a creator, if you know, then you know. They tell you what content perform the best. They show you the topics that you talk about, what people want, what people are listening to, what people are responding to. And then people begin to make more, pump out more of that same topic or that same content so that they could get the views, so that they could get the engagement, so that they can get monetized, so that they could get what they want out of the deal, right? It's not really about you. It's too many itching ears, okay? And so I didn't want to do it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really didn't want to do it. But you know what? God dealt with me, and he had to really deal with me, to really like push for this thing and be consistent, and really like live in my purpose and live my truth, and do what I feel like, is in my heart to do, right? To share my wisdom, to share the things that God has given me, to share my life experiences, to put my education to work. You know what I mean? And so, it didn't take me too long, but it took me a little while to get comfortable, in my voice. Because I don't want to sound like nobody else. I don't want to be like nobody else. I just want to be my own authentic, unique self in my own lane. That's it. When I was a young girl, I never wanted to be the center of attention. I never wanted to be in the front row. I never wanted to be the main character. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Sadie, your certified self-love and confidence coach. Oh my goodness. So much going on. Whew. Oh, I'm tired, y'all. Okay. We are live. We are live. So come on in. We're going to have a chit chat today. Hopefully it don't be that long, but I definitely had to jump on here, show my face, because it's been a couple of weeks. I've been resting, taking care of myself, preparing myself, and just taking so much time needed to myself. I've been grinding, taking care of my family. I finally got a break from school. And so I've been taking advantage of that time to just recuperate and regroup and just reset. But I've been wanting to get on here because there's been a lot going on. This social media stuff is just, it's ridiculous. But we not gonna start there. But first off, we are in mid-May, and I don't know where you at. I'm in Northeast Ohio. It's cold. We have not had consistent weather, warm weather, spring weather at all. And it's really becoming a headache. I'm an outdoor person. I love to be outside, be in nature, get some vitamin D, some sunshine, go to the park, go to the lake, beach, whatever. But you know what? This weather has just not been consistent, and it's really bugging me. I do got plans for the summer to be outside too, to just be in the air, be outside, be in the environment, because I don't like being in the cold. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm quite sure other people is feeling that too. In the political world, there's so much going on with this economy, these gas prices, food prices. It's just ridiculous. And I think that a lot of people are starting to feel it. And I mean, I can remember being a young girl in high school, and they were selling us this American dream. I always knew it was some bull crap to it. I just couldn't pinpoint exactly what part of it was bull crap, but I always knew they were selling fantasy, because it's like the more you obtain, the more you do, the more education you acquire. It's like the bar is always being raised to a higher level, right? And here I am. I have one more year in my grad school program, my social work program, to become a licensed clinical social worker, ultimately a therapist. And it's like anytime I feel like, and other people, I don't know if you feel like this too, but you can always, let me know, comment, send me a message or whatever. But it just always seems like the more I elevate myself, my credentials, my education, it's like it's always another level. That's almost, it seems not attainable. That's what it feels like at times. So, I've been in school for many, many years, pursuing higher education for many, many years, because I was always taught that, that was the key. Education is the key. I don't know what you was taught, but we was definitely taught, if you want to be successful, if you want to, make a career, make a comfortable life for yourself, you need to educate yourself. And that don't necessarily have to be through school, because you can obtain higher learning through other ways as well. But that's the dream that they sold to us, right? And so, all in all, I don't regret going to school. I don't regret graduating from college and going back to college, and just like leveling up educationally and getting degrees and stuff like that. Like, I have no regrets there, but I also do feel like, it's almost like a double standard. Like, the more you climb, the higher you climb, it's like the further this system push you back down, right? And that's just where we at right now with this economy and all these laws and different policies and different things is changing and shifting, and voting, and this, I'm not gonna say no names, but this crazy man is trying to change things and undo things, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so that's that. So we're gonna have that right there. And then moving forward, oh my goodness, to this social media stuff. Whew, I definitely got to get into this social media stuff, because it's like, it's so much information at your fingertips, and it's so much false information at your fingertips. It's so many opinions at your fingertips. It's so many perspectives at your fingertips. It's literally so much going on social media. And it's hard to decipher what's real from what's fake, right? You got AI now. So people can create videos of other people, of celebrities, and it look real, it sound real, and it's just a bunch of fake news. And the one thing I did want to address about social media as well is like, ever since the COVID, ever since the pandemic, it has really shifted things online. How so? Everybody was cooped up in the house, and, people was getting laid off, or people began working from home, right? Making money online, opening businesses, starting businesses that you can do virtually, that you can do at home, so that if something like that was ever to happen again, your income would not have to be sacrificed. Your income would not have to be compromised, right? And so you seen this big wave of online presence, online businesses, online influencers, content creation, making money online, making money on social media, brand deals, all these different things, right? And it sounds really good, You see people making money online, and then you have people who's want to recruit people as well. It's like, you can make this amount of money online. All you got to do is do this and do that and do that. We got a big wave of coaches. You got fitness coach. You got mindset coaches. You got motivational coaches. All of these coaches just started coming out of nowhere, right? Everybody is a coach. Everybody is a coach. Everybody is a coach, right? And it's really the easiest thing because you don't really need like any education. You don't have to go to school to be a coach, a life coach, a fitness coach, whatever. You don't have to obtain a degree. You don't have to really get a certification. Now, you can get certified as a coach. I am a certified life coach who specializes in self-love and confidence, right? I invested in myself. I invested in my business. I invested in my future. Okay. And so I did, sow a seed just to become certified, right? Because it's so many people with opinions online. And to me, I feel like I needed and I wanted to get that certification to prove my competence, right? And I mean, I don't know how many people really think about it, or I don't know if they really like use discernment or analyze the stuff that they allow into they gates and inside of their members and inside of their ears and the people that they listen to. I don't know if people is mindful of this or not. Okay. I am, and so I'm trying to stay in the middle because I don't want to make it seem like it's all about titles. It's all about certifications. It's all about degrees and education and higher learning. Like, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's materialistic, right? Or it's superficial. But at the same time, you do have to be mindful of the things that you're listening to because, I mean, people got so many opinions now. There's so many false teachers. There's so many false information. There's so much false news out here. And you can easily be misled. You can easily be deceived if you are not self-aware and paying attention. And so for me, I felt like that's why I wanted to get certified. That's why I wanted to go to school for social work. That's why I wanted to become a therapist, a licensed therapist, to make that clear. Because I don't know who go to school and don't want to get a license. There's this person that's circulating all over the internet, online, and she just recently came out, said that she's not licensed. Now all of a sudden she's a life coach, but she's carrying this doctor title, as if she got a doctorate degree, which at this point nobody can prove, right? And to me, it's like the people put her where she is. When you online, the stuff you give your attention to, this is the stuff that's going to continue to grow. Whatever you put your attention toward. So you have this woman who has, been, I don't know what she's been doing. She says she's been a life coach. She never called herself a therapist, but she went to school to become a therapist. But she says she don't want to be licensed. So all in all, it sounds like she's just taking advantage of the system. You're not licensed, but you went to school to obtain this education to do what? To use it for yourself, to use it for your benefit, to use it for, for your, your benefit. Like I said, that's what it sounds like to me. And it really don't sound good. You know what I mean? And I don't know if this person is being honest, 100% honest or not, but I will say this. You have to use your discernment. Like, you really have to, like, pay attention and vet these people out and really see what they about. Do they really live the life that they talk about? Do they really practice the things that they trying to teach? You get what I'm saying? And it's like, most of the times, it's not. Like, people have ulterior motives. She already came out and said, well, she don't want to be licensed because she make more money, right? That's a personal ulterior motive. You want to make money, so you don't want to be licensed. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, now people is putting her into question. I don't know why people is putting her into question all of a sudden, because honestly, these people have been listening to her. They have been paying attention to her. They have been consuming her content. They have been taking her advice and all this other stuff. And now all of a sudden, now everybody wants to know where's your degree, where are your transcripts and all this other information, when y'all should really ask this stuff before somebody get to this level of fame or get to this level anyways. She done got so far in her career already. Now all of a sudden everybody want to question her credentials. No, like, you should have questioned it from day one, period. For me, my discernment is really strong. And so when it came to this particular individual, I don't know, I just never really vibe with her. I could never pinpoint, and this happened a lot with me. Like, I may not can pinpoint at that exact moment what it is about somebody, or what rubs me the wrong way, or what's an error or something like that. And I get that we human, so I'm not expecting nobody to be perfect, but you really got to be careful, because people really just be talking and they sound good and it makes sense. And so you really have to be careful. And so I done seen this with myself through experience time and time again. I will meet somebody or I will listen to something online, and something in me just don't resonate with them or whatever it is that they teaching or preaching. And then how they come across and how they say it. That's another important thing, because a lot of times it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And sometimes if you say things a certain way, it could come across a certain way, and that's where misunderstandings come from. And so when I listen to this lady talk, every time I listen to her talk, she's so full of herself. I've never seen, well, yes, I have, men and women. She's so full of herself. It's like she thinks that she rocking this chain. She walking around calling herself this doctor. She think everybody hating on her. She think that she think that she created her own lane. She think that people is want to take her spot and all this and other stuff. Thank you, Charlotte. She said, gotta listen to the Holy Spirit. Absolutely, that's what you have to listen to, because it's like you got all of these voices. You know, you got all of these platforms. You got all of these social media sites. You got all of this information. And you trying to take all this stuff in, and it's just overwhelming. And half of it just be trash and garbage. You know what I mean? And so you do got to protect your members. You got to protect your ears, protect your spirit, and make sure you listening and following the right spirit. Because these people will have you going into a ditch. The blind lead the blind, they both fall into a ditch. That's what the scriptures say, right? And so you will mess around and be in a ditch listening to these people. And so, yeah, I just never really resonated with this woman and what she stood for and she spoke about, but she's so full of herself. I'm a good looking woman and this and that, and I don't have to abide by ethics and laws and this and that. And it's like, I'm learning a lot. Like, I'm in school right now, literally, and there's rules I have to follow. There is ethics and things that I have to follow. You know, there's rules I have to follow. It's called boundaries. When you working with somebody, when you coaching somebody, there's boundaries in everything. And so that's all school really teaches therapists and counselors. They teach you boundaries. They teach you, you know, you don't date your clients. You don't date former clients. You don't have like sexual relationship with your clients. It's these laws, these rules, and these regulations that help protect you and they help protect other people, right? And so she's going online saying that she don't want to be bound by these limitations. Okay, well, you got to understand why these limitations exist in the first place. And so it don't sound good. It don't come across good. It sounds like she just want to do what she want to do, and she want to have the relationships that she want to have. She's a single woman. You know, she consider herself attractive and beautiful, and I mean, she's okay to me. But you know, she's never been married. She don't have any children, and I'm not trying to knock nobody. Because I done had people ask me plenty of times, like, how old are you? And like, what type of experience do you have that you are able to be a coach? Are you able to be a therapist? Or are you able to teach me something, right? I done had people come for me like that. But I'll tell you this much. There is no better teacher than experience. There is no better teacher than life experience. And I put that on everything, right? And also, something that I've learned about relationships in particular, romantic relationships in particular, when you are in a long-term relationship with somebody, or you committed to somebody, or you in a marriage, I want to say these romantic relationships teaches you so much about yourself. And a lot of stuff that therapists and counselors dive into is childhood trauma, right? Trauma come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. There's no big or small. There's no, my trauma is worse than yours. There are levels to it, but I don't know what it is, but romantic relationships really bring out the childhood trauma. Relationships really hold a mirror up and show you your flaws and what you need to work at and where you need to grow. And I think that's the purpose, right? I think that's the purpose of relationships. But if you don't have that, and you can still grow, you can still heal, you can still elevate individually, right? But I'm telling you, it's almost magnified. It's almost intense and more intense when you got somebody right there looking at you every day and holding you accountable, and somebody who can really see you in all forms, in all emotions, and in everything, right? It's different. And so, this woman don't have a lot of experience that the general population do have. Marriage, people have been married, people have been divorced, people have had kids, and it's a different feel when you been riding that bike, and then you talk to somebody who don't have that experience. And then she's calling herself an expert. You can't call, I'm sorry. I don't care. Listen, I don't care how much education you have. I don't care how many books you read. You are not, please do not call yourself an expert. You know what that sounds like? When you call yourself an expert, it sounds like you saying, I've arrived. I've learned everything there is to know about this particular subject. And if that was true, honey, God wouldn't have no purpose for you. You wouldn't be here. It's always more to learn. There's always room to grow. As long as you got breath in your body, there is work to be done. So how you calling yourself an expert? How you calling yourself an expert if you never birthed a child? How are you an expert? You never been married. You never did. How are you an expert then? Because you can't lean on the book work alone to call yourself an expert. I'm sorry. Because book work, the stuff they teach you in school, and I'm speaking from experience, the stuff they teach you in school, real life, the real world is different. And you got to be able to have a strong mind to be able to critically think and be able to understand, how do this book work apply to this situation in the real world? Or how can I merge this? That's what critical thinking does for you. And so it's ridiculous. And this is the reason right here that I really didn't even want to get certified as a life coach, and I didn't even want to be a life coach, because there's so many coaches out there, and I never want to just follow a trend. I never want to be a part of no group. I never want to be following no fads. I always want to be authentic in what I do and why I'm doing it, right? And so this is the main reason why I did not want to become a coach, because I'm like, first off, you got all of these coaches out of here out of nowhere. They don't have no education. They don't have no certifications or nothing. But here they go, jump online, starting a business. I'm a coach, book with me, blah, 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 blah. And then they following this algorithm. The algorithm. When you a creator, if you know, then you know. They tell you what content perform the best. They show you the topics that you talk about, what people want, what people are listening to, what people are responding to. And then people begin to make more, pump out more of that same topic or that same content so that they could get the views, so that they could get the engagement, so that they can get monetized, so that they could get what they want out of the deal, right? It's not really about you. It's too many itching ears, okay? And so I didn't want to do it. I'm going to be honest with you. I really didn't want to do it. But you know what? God dealt with me. And he had to really deal with me, to really like push for this thing and be consistent and really like live in my purpose and live my truth and do what I feel like, is in my heart to do, right? To share my wisdom, to share the things that God has given me, to share my life experiences, to put my education to work. You know what I mean? And so, it didn't take me too long, but it took me a little while to get comfortable, in my voice, because I don't want to sound like nobody else. I don't want to be like nobody else. I just want to be my own authentic, unique self in my own lane. That's it. When I was a young girl, I never wanted to be the center of attention. I never wanted to be in the front row. I never wanted to be the main character. I was always in the back. I was always quiet. I was always shy. And I just wasn't that girl. I'm still not. It's just not who I am to the core. I don't need to be in the front. I don't need to be seen. But you know what? When God put a calling on your life, when God put something inside of you, when God called you to the front of the room to talk and use your voice and to give what he has given you, you don't really have no choice but to be obedient, right? You don't have no choice but to say, you know what? Even though I'm uncomfortable being on this video, even though I'm uncomfortable talking to people, even though I'm uncomfortable sharing my opinion, even though it makes me uncomfortable being criticized by people, I still have to be obedient and do what I have to do, because somebody somewhere needs what I have. And they're not going to get it if I'm not being obedient to my calling and to my purpose. They're not going to get it. And they're going to be looking for it in other places and they're not going to be able to find it. And even though the field and things seems oversaturated, I still got to get online. I still got to get on here. I still have to talk. And I still have to show my face, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Because if you got this big social media space and you got all of these lies and you got all of this fake news and you got all these fake influencers, you got all these content creators who is solely focused on getting monetized, making money online, trying to recruit people, where is the real people at? Like, where is the truth? Where's the truth in it? Where is God's children? Where's the authenticity? Like, and that's why I feel like no matter what, I have to show up. Yeah, the devil busy, but God busy too. God busier. And so, sometimes I just have to ignore the BS and I have to do what I have to do, and I have to get on here and I have to speak and I have to use my voice and I have to make sure that I'm doing my part. It's not a one-man army. I'm a part of a body. I may have not connected with all the people that I'm supposed to connect with at this moment in time, but I'm in alignment, and that's all that really matters. So with that being said, I really like to keep my lives 20 minutes under, but we had a lot to talk about today, so I'm not going to keep going on and on and on. I feel like I've made my point. I feel like I said the things that I needed to say for today. And hopefully I'll be back soon. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe next week. But don't quote me because mom will be tired. But I love y'all. Make sure you take care of yourself. And remember, you are divine inspiration. You are a source of inspiration for your friends. You are a source of inspiration for your family. You are a source of inspiration for your community. You are a divine source of inspiration to every single person connected to you. Do you hear me? All right. Talk to you soon. Peace.